So using such a RxJS subject and setting up that subscription here and triggering change detection manually can be a good alternative to using signals when using on-push components and services in combination. However, as you can tell, this was of course quite a lot of code we had to write here in this messages list component. And that's why Angular also offers a shortcut, a built-in feature, if you want to call it like this, for situations like this. Instead of managing this messages property here, and instead of triggering change detection manually and injecting this change detector reference thing, and instead of managing the subscription and its cleanup, instead of doing all these things, you can get rid of all that code, get rid of that interface, and get rid of all these imports, which are not needed anymore. And instead of doing all these things, you can add one simple new property to this component. Let's maybe name it messages $sign as well, though the name is up to you and does not have to be the same one as in the service. But here I will use the same one because I in the end wanna bind my messages subject from the service to the messages here. Now what will this achieve though? Well, now this property holds a behavior subject which emits events that carry that messages array. Angular now offers us a special pipe we can use in the template to automatically set up and clean up that subscription and read those values from the subject. For that, I'll use my messages $sign property here, and then I'll use the special async pipe thereafter. And that's a built-in pipe that's meant to be used in conjunction with observables, which is the main thing this RxJS package offers, and in the end, that subject we're using, that behavior subject, is also just kind of an observable. And we'll dive a bit deeper into RxJS later in the course. For now, that's all you need to know. So async is a built-in pipe that can be used on such an observable, on such a subject here in this case. And behind the scenes, when using this async pipe, Angular will set up a subscription, will read the values that are emitted by that subject, and will provide them here in the template so that this for loop will continue to work. And it will also unsubscribe if this component shouldn't be active anymore. In addition, it will also trigger change detection for this component whenever a new value is received from that subject or from that observable. So that's also something the async pipe will do. It will trigger change detection when new values are received. Now I just have to enable it here by adding the imports array in that messages list component and by adding the async pipe here. And for that, you must import it from Angular common. With it imported and unlocked, this will work though, and as a result, the application will work the same way it did before. So here, if I enter test and I save this, you see that shows up here. If I add testing, clean this and click save, you see the messages list component was evaluated because the async pipe triggered the change detection and the message shows up here. And that's therefore the more elegant way of handling this. Nonetheless, it's super important to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And if you ever need to do more than just output the subject value in your template, you will need to manually set up and manage such a subscription as I showed it to you before. That's why you should know about both approaches, and now you do.